It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to the Science Bowl. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Here we are in our 32nd year of competition. We have two great schools here to play our game today. Let's meet them right now. First, from Highland Park Elementary, would you say hello to Sabrina Albert, Brian De Silva, and Juanita Awaga. And from Judith P. Hoyer Montessori, here is the team, all in green. Would you say hello, please, to Daniel Miller, Naomi Edwards, and Paul John Cruz. And now, here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board here according to the difficulty of the question. The easier questions, they're worth 5 and 10 points. Those are on the left. Increasingly difficult questions, 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. End of the 2 rounds, one of these two talented and very good-looking teams will come back to play our game again. They will take on Cherokee Lane for the chance to move on in our competition. Let's make sure everything works properly. Let's go to the red team. Brian, would you give the buzzer a push? Looks and sounds good. Good luck to you, to Sabrina, and to Juanita. And Naomi, would you try yours? Seems A-OK. Good luck to you, to Daniel, and to Paul. And all of you guys are ambassadors for your schools. You win just by being here. So just relax and have a good time because you are the elite. Let's have a good game here today. We go alphabetically H before J. So Highland Park and Brian, let's play the bowl.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, Cinderella's coach was made of this gourd. Judy Hoyer.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, and at the stroke of midnight, it went back into a pumpkin. All right, good. Green.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, baby platypuses and baby echidnas are not really born because they're monotremes. They're what, Highland Park?
Eggs. They come from eggs.
They come from eggs. So what does an egg do when it opens up?
It hatches.
It hatches. That's it. Good. Go. Red.
Body systems for 5 points.
Body systems for 5 points. And Juanita, thanks for your help on that one. Body systems for 5 points. Teams, if mouth-to-mouth resuscitation is not possible when you do CPR, a rescuer can do mouth to what? A life is in the balance here. Come on, guys. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation is not working. You're doing CPR, so you got to do something else. You got to do mouth to what, Judith Hoyer?
Lungs?
Not lungs, no. Brian?
Nose.
Nose, mouth to nose. So you'll get the air into the lungs. Naomi, you had the right idea there. Okay, go red.
Let's get physical for 5 points, please.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, the giant plates on the earth that move around are called tectonic plates. This is kind of a joke. One tectonic plate said to another, you know, lately there's been too much friction between us, and it's all my what? Judith P. Hoyer.
What? They said fault.
Fault is right. It's all my fault. Those fault lines between the plates. Danny's finally smiling. I wondered if he was going to finally smile for us. All right, go. Green.
Green things for 10, please.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, for much of Prince George's County history, the #1 crop was this nicotine-producing
Tobacco.
Judith Hoyer. Tobacco, that's right. Thank you, Paul, for weighing in there. All right. Slight lead for Hoyer, 70 to 65. You're all playing well. Keep talking to each other. Get ready to jump on those buzzers. Go Naomi.
Dateline Science for 5.
Dateline Science for 5 points. Teams, we recently saw a total solar eclipse where the moon completely blotted out the face of the sun. But in 2019, this smallest of all planets is going to move across the sun. It's so small that it will not blot it out. What is that smallest planet, Brian?
Pluto.
Not Pluto. Yeah, Judith P. Hoyer.
Mercury.
Mercury, yeah. Remember, they kicked Pluto out of the club, Brian. We still want it back. We still want it back. Okay, go ahead, Naomi. Go.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, on the insect edition of Dancing with the Stars, these social insects would perform their famous waggle dance. Naomi?
Bees.
The bees, yeah, to show the other members of the hive where the best nectar is. I want to see that. Go, Bree.
Science Potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, antibodies don't work on popular websites that go what? Judith Hoyer.
Viral.
Viral is right, absolutely. Thank you, Dan. Good answer. Go. Green.
Science Potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points is a numerical answer. Even if a hurricane's winds are well over 200 miles per hour, the highest number it can get on the Saffir-Simpson scale is this one. Hoyer.
500.
Not 500. The highest number on the Saffir-Simpson scale by which we rate hurricanes, no matter how much stronger it is than 200 miles per hour, the top number is this.
360?
5. A category 5. Boy, I wouldn't want to see a 300 hurricane or a 500. Good tries, though. Go Green.
Green Things for 15.
Green Things for 15 points is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, if you would, please. That is red snow. We all know that we shouldn't go anywhere near yellow snow, right? Well, red snow is not caused by urine or anything else, but it is caused by a red version of these tiny green plants. All right, Hoyer. What tiny green plants here are red tinted on this snow?
Moss.
Not moss. Good try. What red tinted tiny plants that are normally green are making this snow red, Brian?
Bacteria?
Algae. Algae. Red algae. Try again, Green.
Body Systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, according to the Bible, Eve was created by one of these bones taken from Adam, but actually men and women both have 12 pairs of these bones. Men don't have one more, Hoyer.
Ribs.
Ribs is right, yes indeed. Oh, the buzzer says we've come to the end of the first round and it's been a good one. Our score right now is Highland Park at 65, Judith P. Hoyer at 100. Round 2 of Science Bowl, straight ahead. Welcome back to Science Bowl. What a great game we've got going here. 6 young people, boy, are they all sharp here, and we're really proud of all of them. Let's find out about each of our contestants. Let's go first to Highland Park. And Brian, tell us about Highland Park. It's not far from here. It's in central Prince George's County. And who's your principal?
Miss Robinson.
Miss Robinson. I know she's a big fan of Science Bowl. Who's the sponsor of your team?
Miss Mommers.
And she is here too. And this is her first time, I believe, in sponsoring the team. So, Ms. Mummers, thank you for being part of Science Bowl. Any alternates on your team, Brian?
We have a member called Xavier.
Wonderful. Xavier, he's out there. I know he's chomping at the bit. He wants to get out here. We're going to see him in a few moments' time. What do you like about Highland Park?
Our teachers are very connected to our students.
Yeah, connectedness. Yeah, you got to be on the same wavelength. You know, teacher can't be up here, and you got to talk the same language. So you're in a good place. Tell me the Brian story. What do you want to do someday?
I want to become an animator.
Yeah, we were talking about that before. An animator in terms of like animated movies, then?
No, like animation. Well, I guess animation, animated movies.
Yeah.
But I also want to do video game animation.
That's wonderful. You know, that's a hot profession right now, so you're aiming in the right direction. I know you're a soccer player too, so you keep yourself busy. You're a good captain. You're a good captain. Juanita, nice to have you here today. We were talking earlier, and I said, "You a little bit nervous?" And she said, "Yeah, we're all a little bit nervous here, but it keeps you on your game." But you do. You're a singer. So, you know, you've got some good stage presence. You know, you're used to being in front of people. Tell me, what do you want to do professionally someday?
I want to be a pediatrician.
Pediatrician? Because you're the oldest of 4, are you not? Yeah, so you have a lot of brothers and sisters looking up to you, right? Yeah, nice to have you here today. Sabrina, tell us about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to read or draw or animate.
And animate too. Y'all have a lot in common, because I know, Juanita, you're a reader as well. You like chapter books. And Brian, I'm sure you're a reader. And readers do real well on the Science Bowl because you expose yourself to so much of the world. And Sabrina, tell me a little bit about yourself later on in life.
I want to work at Disney.
All right, Disney. That's a good, you know, the Magic Kingdom, right?
Yeah, as long as I don't animate any fancy-smancy princess movies like Cinderella.
That's not one of your favorites, huh?
Not really, no.
Okay, all right. Nothing wrong with that. Let's go over and meet the team from Judith P. Hoyer and Naomi. First time your school's been on the show, so welcome to Science Bowl. And I like your shirts. You got the bear footprint over there,
Yeah.
right? And I like the green. You're on the green side, so that was a nice happenstance. Tell me about who your principal is.
Our principal is Miss Spivey White, and we have an assistant principal, Mr. Sean Malbon.
Yes, and he's new this year, and
Yes.
Dr. Spivey White, she's just the best of the best. She has more energy than anybody I know, and she's just a fabulous educator. And tell me about the coach of your team.
Miss Strong is our coach, and she's really good at being our coach because she always pushes us and tells us not to think negatively about what's going to happen.
Absolutely. Always think positive as best you can. And Ms. Strong was a candidate for Teacher of the Year
Yes.
last year, so also a distinguished educator. Any alternates? I think you had a whole bunch of alternates. Can you give me their first names?
We have 3 alternates, Imani, Chinwei, and Maya.
Wonderful. So you got a shadow team out there. We'll bring them out with Miss Strong and Miss Spivey White in just a few moments. What's the best thing about Judith P. Hoyer? There's so many great things going on there.
We're a Montessori school, and we're an arts integrated school, and we have a lot of after-school clubs. And one of our after-school clubs, Model United Nations, they went on a trip to China.
Wow, wow. So elementary students went to China. Yeah, I hope they shared that experience with you and took lots of pictures. The Chinese were lucky to have such great American students as ambassadors. All right, and Paul, tell us the Paul Cruz story. Why'd you want to be on this show?
It seemed like a good idea.
It seemed like a good idea. It is a good idea because you're bringing so much to the game here. Tell me about what you want to do someday.
I want to be an archaeologist because then I can learn about the way people used to live in other times.
Of course, and that's a fascination for all of us. Let me come back to Naomi for a moment. Naomi, tell me what you do in your spare time.
I do ballet, and I like to read and study things.
Yeah, when you said I like to study, I knew you were in the right place. You're on Science Bowl, and you're proving that here today. And what do you want to do someday?
I want to work at NASA and try to figure out what's outside of our solar system.
I don't know that we'll ever know everything, you know, and I know you watched the movie Hidden Figures 3 times, right? So I can see why you're interested in NASA. And Dan, you know an awful lot about science. You've proved that already. How do you know so much science?
Well, my mom is a scientist, and I've been to the science fair a lot of times and won a lot of science fairs.
You certainly have. And your mom, Zipporah, is a great friend of science and of Prince George's County Schools, and she's a fabulous educator, and we're lucky that she sent you here today. And your dad also is a great educator as a principal. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to do when you get older?
When I get older, I want to become a biologist/investor. The reason why I want to become a biologist because I want to learn more about biology.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to become an investor, I want to help people with their jobs.
Wonderful. And also maybe you can make some money, right? Investors make some money. Maybe you can give us some good tips, Dan, on some stocks at some day. Anyhow, it sounds like you've got it all planned out. You're a serious young man and you're playing a good game. Let's get back to it. 100 for Hoyer, 65 for Highland Park. Last correct answer came from the green team. Lots of points to give away, still anybody's game. Naomi, let's go.
Let's get physical for 10.
For 10 points. Teams, much of the snow and ice on Mars is made of this gas in the form of dry ice. Judith Hoyer.
Methane?
Not methane. Come on, Highland Park. Sabrina and Juanita, let's help Brian out here. What gas is the reason we've got snow and ice on Mars? Because the gas is in the form of dry ice.
Oxygen?
Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. We wish we could find some oxygen up there. Yeah, we're still looking. Okay, go again, green.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, if a person is anemic, they can't make enough of these. Judy Hoyer, you can't make enough of these. What do you think, guys?
Red blood cells?
Got that right. RBCs, erythrocytes. Perfect. Green, go. Nicely done.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline science for 10 points. All right, teams, your question is as follows. Before facial recognition came to iPhones, this other biometric was used instead of a password. Highland Park.
Your thumbprint.
Your thumbprint, absolutely right. Good answer, young man. Go, red.
Zoo parade for 15 points.
Zoo parade for 15 points. Teams, if you saw Finding Nemo, you know that Nemo is a clownfish, and a clownfish can be inside of anemones because anemones do not sting clownfish, but they do other fish. I will give you 15 points if you can spell anemone. Spell anemone. Someone's got to ring in. Spell it. Who's going to be the speller?
Can I pass it to
Paul?
Paul?
Spell anemone.
Anemone.
You got it, young man. Good answer. Points go to Hoyer. Green.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. All right, teams. You know that a gigabyte is a billion bytes. A terabyte is how many bytes? All right, Judith Hoyer.
A trillion.
A trillion. Yeah, good. All right. Paul comes through twice. Go.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. All right, teams. In the War of the Planet of the Apes did not have prehensile tails because they are not monkeys. But all of those apes, as all apes do, had prehensile opposable these digits.
Thumbs.
Thumbs. They all had thumbs. Yeah, the characteristic quality of us primates. Go green.
Let's get physical for 15.
Physical for 15 points. All right, teams, your question is as follows. Mach 1 is the speed of sound. If a plane goes less than Mach 1, it is known as a subsonic plane. If it goes faster than Mach 1, it is known as this kind of plane. Judy Hoyer.
Can you repeat the question?
I cannot.
Okay.
What you got?
We don't know.
Okay. Highland Park, I can repeat it for you. Mach 1 is the speed of sound. If a plane travels less than the speed of sound, it is known as a subsonic plane. If it goes faster than the speed of sound, it's known as this kind of plane. Supersonic. Supersonic. Go again, green.
Daylight science for 15.
Daylight science for 15 points. Teams, the most complete skeleton of this fearsome-looking dinosaur is called Sue. Brian?
T-Rex.
T-Rex, yeah, it's in the Field Museum of Chicago. Good. All right, we got some hand slaps, some high-fiving going over there. 90 points, 165. You got some points to make up. Let's go get them. Go.
Body systems for 20 points.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, if you suffer from hyperhidrosis, your body produces too much of this. It produces too much what, Judy Hoyer?
Water.
In what form?
In liquid form?
More information?
Liquid blood, maybe? Liquid blood form?
No. Highland Park, hyperhidrosis, your body produces too much what?
Urine.
Sweat. Sweat. All right, go again, red.
Dateline science for 20 points.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, the scientist William Harvey discovered that this body system was a complete circuit beginning and ending in the heart. Name that body system.
Circulatory
All right,
system?
circulatory system it is, Judy Hoyer. You're good. Kind of a slow realization. Hey, this isn't that tough. Go, green.
Let's get physical for 20.
Get physical for 20 points. All right, teams. Apple recently stopped making one of its iPods that was named for this prefix that means 1 billionth. The iPod what was discontinued? The iPod Nano. Nano. Go again, green.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. All right, teams, this is a multiple choice question. Big words. Listen carefully, see if you can get it. The smallest seed on earth belongs to an orchid. So tiny. Inside there's an undeveloped embryo, and there's none of the food that the seed needs. Is that food known as the endoplasm, the endometrium, or the endosperm?
Endoplasm.
Not the endoplasm. Nope. Highland Park, there is very little of what kind of food inside that tiniest of seeds, the orchid seed. Is it the endosperm, the endometrium, or the endoplasm?
Endosperm.
Endosperm is right. Yes, sir. Good comeback. Go red.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. Recently at the National Zoo, their hornbill damaged its bill and needed a replacement, just like this toucan has. They took a 3D printer and they made a replica of the upper bill and put it on so that the bird could eat. The name of that artificial body part, just like an artificial limb on a human being, is known by what P-initialed name? Highland Park.
Prosthetic.
You got that right. I saw the light bulb go on in your eyes over there, Brian. Nicely done. Go. Prosthetic it is.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Big one in that category, teams, is as follows. Teams in turkeys and chickens and ducks, their collarbones are fused together. That's called a furcula. But we know that bone better as this bone that we break, Brian.
Wishbone.
The wishbone for good luck, absolutely. At Thanksgiving, you always want to get the bigger half. Go.
Body systems for 25 points.
Body systems for 25 points. Get this right, we have almost a tie game here. Body systems for 25 points. If a person suffers from Hep, H-E-P, Hep A, Hep B, or Hep C, none of it's good because it affects what organ in your body? Judy Hoyer. What you got, guys?
Your heart.
Not your heart. Hep A, Hep B, or Hep C, not good conditions. All of those affect what organ in your body, Brian?
Liver.
The liver is right. Yes, short for hepatitis. Okay, Highland Park, you get to choose again. 180 to 185, we got a nail biter. 4 questions left.
Green things for 25 points.
Green things for 25 points. This is a mathematical question. Listen carefully. There's something called a Fibonacci ratio that determines how many petals are on a flower or how many plates on a pine cone. Listen to this sequence. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. What's the next number? Brian.
7.
Not 7. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Next number. What you got? Correct answer is 13 because you add each one together. Go again, please, red. 3 questions left.
Dateline science for 25 points.
Dateline science for 25 points. Teams, what S-initialed bacterium that can cause food poisoning and is found on baby turtles had to be learned by young Sheldon in the new movie about Sheldon Cooper when he was a boy. S-initialed bacterium. Salmonella. Go again, red.
Let's get physical for 25 points.
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, September 22nd was the day of the autumnal equinox. I'll give you these points if you can tell me what the sun appears to do on that date. What does the sun appear to do on that date? All right, Judith Hoyer wants to pad their 5-point lead. Let's see if Paul and Naomi can do it. All right.
Day and night take the exact same time. That's what he's.
What's that again?
Can I pass it to Paul?
Paul, what do you want to tell me, Paul?
The sun rises and sets at the exact same time. I mean, it takes the exact same time for it to rise and set. I mean, no, it takes never mind.
Not quite. Not quite. Good try. Brian, Juanita, Sabrina?
The sun disappears?
No, the sun appears to move from the equator into the southern hemisphere as we change seasons. Last question left. 25 points under Science Potpourri. This will decide the game. If neither of you get it right, Judy Hoyer wins. Science Potpourri for 25 points. Listen carefully. Teams, the word etymology is the study of word derivations. What similar sounding word is the study of insects? Judith P. Hoyer.
Entomology.
Entomology it is, and Judy Hoyer, you win it with the bug question. We'll be back with a wrap up in just a moment.